So you were in this health fund that helps veterans. What kind of care did you get from it? Did you feel that was adequate for you?
Um, it's a very good program that offers breathing tests to check your lung volume to you know keep an eye on if you end up getting a lung disease so they can stay ahead of it. Blood work and a full medical evaluation, EKG, an X-ray every couple of years. I think it's a good program to catch something, but after I started to understand, um, more of the medical world and thinking outside the box and trusting my gut, there's more that you can do. And look, there's only so much each program can do because of the funding, because of the FDA rules, and which are prohibitive to certain stem cells and high end outside the box procedures. So I just knew that it wasn't enough for what I needed, because I'm a big prevention guy. And I'm watching colleagues die around me, and I'm like, I don't want that. I want to. I'm not going to let these terrorists take me out. And not that they didn't fight. It's just, I'm a special operations guy. I'm like, there's more. I got to shift my mindset 15 degrees left and think about other ways and methods to that I don't even know about, and I got to research and find and take these new treatments and stuff. And that's what I did. Hours and hours of internet searches, and then talking to certain doctors that lead me in a different direction, and ultimately, I became my own shaman, and started figuring out a recipe for success. And what I found was that pharmaceuticals played the part in this, but I was getting better results for anti-inflammation, feelings from the holistic world, oddly enough, which I thought was excellent. Like, so I take an array of supplements that's as long as a kitchen counter. It's expensive. I spend probably $5,000 a year on these supplements, but they're part of my recipe. They're part of me still being on this planet. I'll give you an example, which even motivated me more. I ended up going. I reached out to a charity called Boot Campaign because I was at wit's end. I just kept internet searching. I'm looking for help. I reached out to these wellness charities, and finally I get through to one, and Boot Campaign and I'm still a participant actually, and a brand ambassador for them. They're excellent. They provide services with meditation counseling, heart rate variability training, which is another recipe for success. And I'm going to get really granola on you, but the granola is what saved lives, in my opinion. It's why I'm still here. So I ended up going down to the Cooper Clinic down in Dallas, Texas. It's a one-stop shop where a lot of rich and famous go there, because you can go. Within 12 hours, you see pretty much every doc that you need to see, which would take up to a year of scheduling to get you through it. It takes one day. So my doc, at the end of it, you get a CAT scan and all that too. At the end of it, he goes, Ron, I got to commend you. He goes, at looking at everything and all your paperwork and notes and your CAT scan, you shouldn't be here by now. It's because of you and your fortitude and your thinking outside the box and all this other stuff you're doing is why you're here. And that even motivated me more, because that scared me, because I'm like, holy cow, like I keep dodging this bullet because I'm being preventative and staying ahead of it. So again, and I'm shifting my mindset left and right 15 degrees, because if I hit a stumbling block, like, oh, where's the answer? Where's the answer? So you got to keep chipping away your mindset, ideas, spitballing it, and then eventually the good, the proper solution will pop up. It always will, but you got to change the mindset. So, I have done oxygen while working out. They call it HBOT for probably 6 years now with a Live O2 machine. A lot of the professional athletes do it.
Mhm.
Oxygen is a recipe for success for anybody for longevity and prevention of disease. I do it pretty much daily as what that's one protocol. Oh, the other thing I want to get across to the audience is I'm a big believer in the hybrid approach. I'm not a staunch holistic, hey, it's got to be holistic or nothing. No, I'm a realistic. We live in a world that's very challenging with all the pollutants that we have. And there are, certain pharmaceuticals that are good and that you should take in combination. So that, I am not opposed to that approach. There's a win. That's a recipe for success for the hand that we are dealt on this planet right now. So you have to think asymmetrically. You have to embrace it all, but embrace each tool in that toolbox, what works specifically for you individually. So I was at the end of the road where, like, I think I'd done every technique on the planet that I knew of to keep me alive and keep me ahead of this disease and to try to wean me off of some of the pharmaceuticals I was on. Because if you don't have to be on them, why would you want to put a chemical in you? Why not just be natural? So I started to, and I've heard about stem cells throughout the years, but I never really understood them. And then I started to do a deep dive on it and read the success stories and watch the success stories on YouTube. And I'm like, holy cow, that's exactly what I need. So I made a pact to myself that I'm going to be the first disabled 9/11 responder to live to 100. And I'm going to do that with multiple tools in the toolbox with the big tool of stem cells, because stem cells, and I'm pretty good at understanding. I'm a self-proclaimed shaman of stem cells now, with your guidance, Dr. Joy, obviously. Okay. But I know a lot about them now. But they literally just go in and fight inflammation and regrow tissue. What better for a lung disease? So there's a lot of misinformation out there in the U.S. in regards to whether you can get stem cells in the U.S. or not. I didn't know what I didn't know. So I just know that I knew there were several places in South America on some of the shows that I watch and people that I know and heard that went to these places. So I heard the FDA doesn't allow it in the U.S. and this and that. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got to go to South America. So I ended up.
Right. You're caught in part of the misinformation.
I was totally. And, it's hard to even find on an internet search to really figure that out.
Because there's targeting of these clinics and not allowing them to promote and advertise. So that's probably why you can't find it. There's definitely a systematic suppression going on.
Absolutely. Yep. So, and I'm going to help reverse that. So I ended up going to Mexico to a clinic down there and went down there to get 150 million stem cell IV infusion. If you got a bum knee or a shoulder, they'll inject your shoulder. You can get IV. You can get both. However, I only needed IV infusion, so I went down, did that.
And what kind of cells were these?
They're the mesenchymal stem cells. Yeah, from birth tissue, the umbilical cord. Yep, 25. Yeah, 25 year female or younger, C-section birth, medically tested, no COVID vaccine, really, really safe, successful option. So I did that. And about 2 months after is when I really started to notice my breathing got better and my energy and my, I was actually in between there is when I found you, Dr. Joy, because I don't give up. Like I'm like, all right, I did these stem cells. What's the next best option? Who else out there does this? I started looking in the US, and ultimately I ran into you on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
So just to clarify, you had mentioned that you actually experienced extreme fatigue after the stem cell treatment, correct?
I
For
did.
for a couple of months.
I did. Yes.
And you were able to connect with like about 20 other patients when you were at that clinic at the same time?
Yes. Yeah. Everybody in my cohort there had experienced the fatigue, which, I chalked off to that's the tissue regrowing. I found myself wanting to almost be like a baby. I just wanted to eat and sleep. That's all I wanted to do. And
Mhm.
literally, if I tried to even try to work out, I couldn't. The fatigue was pretty substantial
Hmm.
for several months, and then it finally went away.
Okay. So at the time you thought that was necessary for healing.
Yes, I
Oh,
again I'm pioneering this effort for the 9/11 veteran and first responder community. I'm like, all right, this is what you do. You get tired after you get stem cells.
and then you went back for a second time, correct?
I did. It was a 2-for-1 deal. So it's part of, I think, an FDA study they're trying to put together down there. And you go back for 30 million more IV infusion. And I went back there 3 months later at the 3-month mark. And I had about 2 weeks of fatigue after, not even close to what the first one was. And then it subsided. But I chalked that off to that because it was a lot less stem cells.
Right, right. And we can talk about that, why you may have experienced fatigue and what that was. And did you experience further relief in your symptoms after the second treatment?
I was about the same as when I felt it at the 2-month mark after the first dose. So my breathing felt the same. I was better. I was better than where I started from the first treatment. I definitely was like, this is the way to go. Stem cells is the way to go. I
Hmm.
felt a lot better, a lot stronger. My breathing could be deeper. My workouts could be a lot stronger, and I could perform more to where I almost felt like I wasn't disabled anymore.
Mm,
I was like,
right.
this is awesome.
And then how long after that did you come to our clinic?
2 months.
All right. And what's your experience after the treatment we gave you? We gave you 40 million of stem cells. Yeah. How was that experience?
Amazing. I had no fatigue. I actually had the reverse. I had more energy. I, uh, interesting enough, I noticed with about the 2-week mark after, my verbal skills, my word retrieval was a heck of a lot better. Like I was spitting out words to where I don't remember saying that word in years. I was
Wow.
like, I sound educated all of a sudden again. Uh, so, I mean, I dealt with PTSD, a little bit of TBI, and age, and I'm sure that the toxins that I breathe affected my brain as well. Um, I'll tell you, remarkable, remarkable on the mental status, like what it has done for me with my focus and my word retrieval, and it seems to just get better. We're at the 2-month after mark
Mm,
now, and it just keeps holding strong. And
that's
my breathing's been at a different level. It now got even better to where there are days where I just don't even feel that I have a disability. I'm good to go.
wow, that's wonderful. That's so good to